It's way worse than you think. This video was a Patreon request by a Patreon pledge by the name of Michael Kelly. He wants me to do a video on how the marriage statistics are actually way worse than 50% divorce. He sent me a link to a website, I believe it's called Static Brain, and basically it was talking about the marriage statistics. And what we've been told, right, is that 50% of marriages end in divorce, right? We've been told, if you get married, it's a 50-50 chance that you're going to get divorced. But that actually couldn't be farther from the truth. It's actually much worse than that. See, that 50-50%, that 50% chance that you might get divorced, if I'm not mistaken, that's like every year, all right? That's every year it's like flipping a coin that you're married, not over the entire course of your marriage. See, this website he sent me to, this link he sent me, it talks about how the average marriage doesn't, like the chance of your marriage lasting 10 years, for example, is 6.5%. Not 60%, 6.5%. Less than 10% chance that your marriage will last 10 years. So that's 1 in 15 marriages that make it over 10 years, right? So you got guys lining up to get married, idiots who still think, you know what, 50-50 isn't so bad. Yeah, I can lose half my stuff. Yeah, I can lose half my money. Yeah, I can lose custody of my kids and be kicked out of my house and be paying alimony and child support forever. But, it's a 50-50 chance, and, hopefully hopefully I land on the right side of the coin, right? But it's actually so much worse than that. It is a 6.5 out of 100 chance. Basically 1 in 15 marriages make it past the 10-year mark is what the statistic is saying. So imagine that. Like, imagine how much crazier it actually is. And after 10 years of marriage, she can take you to the cleaners. That's long enough to where she could take you for probably more than half your stuff, right? So it's not just a 50-50 coin toss. It's like a super, super fraction of a sliver of a chance. 6.5. Imagine if there was a 94% chance that you go out today, you're going to get hit by a car when you start your car. Are you going to go start your car? Imagine if you jump out of a plane, right? And there's like a 94% chance your airbag is not going to deploy. Think about how crazy that is, man. 94% chance that in 10 years, your marriage is going to fail. That 1 in 15 marriages makes it past the 10-year mark. So that 50-50 is really just every year. It's like you're flipping a coin. And there's so many factors that we fail to consider that decrease the odds. They say, and I think I was watching a Lauren Southern video one time, and she was talking about this, how every man a woman sleeps with after one is the equivalent psychologically of a man sleeping with 20 women. So a woman who sleeps with, let's say, 2 guys is the mental equivalent of a man who sleeps with 40 women. And of course, psychological baggage affects women way more than it does men. So if you've been with a girl who's been with, 3 guys, that psychological baggage, it's cutting her chances of being able to bond with you down and down even more. So that's no wonder why 94% of marriages don't make it past the 10-year mark. It's no wonder why you have a 6.5% chance of your marriage lasting 10 years. 1 in 15 couples stays married past the 10-year mark. That's insane. That is a risk definitely not worth taking. That's just sheer insanity. In a country like this where you can just be destroyed for everything. I don't understand why the government has to be a part of the relationships. Like, look, it would still be incredibly terrible because, you're ripping families apart, kids are traumatized, but it wouldn't be as bad if the government couldn't take you to the cleaners for everything you have. The fact that you stand to lose so much, and that you have a 94% chance pretty much of your marriage not making it 10 years. Maybe it'll last 2 years, maybe it'll last 7 years, but most likely not even 10 years is just sheer insanity. That's just, and that's insane, man. I have buddies who got married. They didn't make it past 2 years. That means they flipped a coin twice. They won the first coin toss, then they lost the second one. And now they're just divorced, paying child support, like in their early 20s. I think I only know one couple that lasted in America at least, that lasted past 10 years. You know, I know one. The rest of them, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. So I never even thought about that, guys. I never even thought, I always just thought 50% means 50% over a lifetime that you will get divorced. I didn't know it's every year you're married, it's tossing a coin every single time, and that only 1 in 15 couples makes it past the 10-year mark. That's like insane, dude. Like, oh my god. I mean, here's my advice, right? If you're gonna be with an American woman this day and age, I would suggest maybe just do a long-term relationship where you both have your own addresses. That way, she can't get you for palimony. If try not to have kids with them. I mean, I just that's like it's heartbreaking, but it's just like a losing bet, you know. So like I said, like live at your own place. You get mail at your own place. She gets her mail at her place or whatever. And then you just maybe spend a couple nights a week at her place and try not to have kids with her so that you can't get child support. That's like the best I could come up with. Like guys, I learned something new every day, man. This statistic that this guy sent me really blew my mind. I thought 50% of marriages that end in divorce is like over a lifetime. I didn't know that it's like every year it's a 50% chance. Going by the statistic that only 1 in 15 couples make it past the 10-year mark, that just goes to show how incredibly stacked the odds are against you, and how you'd have to be just like a complete masochist to even want to even want to take a gamble like that. You must really have like a sick pleasure for pain. I don't know. It's crazy, man. The odds are so much more stacked against you. You know, factor in everything else we've been talking about: allegations, her getting pregnant by another guy, you raising some other guy's kid, her cheating on you, even if you stay married. They say, okay, I'll give you guys another example, right? They say at least 50% of wives have admitted to cheating. So you have a 50% chance of getting divorced every year, and you have a 50% chance of your wife cheating on you. I think it's really 70 or 80%, honestly. And they said like something 20 to 30% of married men are raising another man's kid. So it's like, what are the odds that none of this is going to happen to you? What are the odds that your marriage is going to last over 10 years? She's not going to cheat on you, and you're not going to end up raising some other man's kid. Like, I don't know, man. And all of this for what? So you can say on paper, I have a marriage certificate and I'm officially married. All this just so that you can have a little document that says you are legally binded to the state. You know, being in a long-term relationship is one thing, but signing a contract with someone, living under the same roof with them, paying their bills, having kids with them, when you have all this to lose, all this to be taken to the cleaners for, it's insanity, man. It's really crazy. Like I thought, like I said, man, I'll repeat it in. I thought it was bad enough when I thought it was 50-50. Now it's like, no, that's every year it's 50-50. I'm like, damn, dude, I'm never taking that chance, man. So it's way worse than you think, guys. To all the guys that still have a glimmer of hope and say one day, you know, I might want to sign that marriage contract. It just got way worse, man. It just got way crazier. Anyways, man, I appreciate Michael Kelly for the $20 Patreon donation. Anyone else who wants a custom MGTOW video on any topic of their choice, feel free to become a $20 Patreon. The link is in the description. And shoot me a message on Patreon with the topic you want, and I'll be sure to get that video out for you as soon as possible. All right? Thanks a lot, guys.